people, welcome back to the Nick J. Francis channel. We are back. Man is in my dressing gown because cost of living crisis, bruv. Outside, you know what I mean? It's grey and miserable like my ex-girl's dad, bruv. You know, like that. So yeah, man, man's in my dressing gown with my cup of tea trying to stay warm, bruv, because it's horrendous outside right now. Arsenal just beat Chelsea 1-0. Standard Arsenal win at Stamford Bridge. Aubameyang was nowhere to be seen. Do you know what I'm saying? Saliba dealt with them perfectly fine. This Saliba guy is he's a freak, man. He is a freak. Like, towards the end of the game, Armando Broja come on quite late into the game, and he's not slow. He's not slow by any stretch of the imagination. Saliba pushed up, played him offside, and then when the flag didn't go up, ran all the way back and caught him up again, like gave him like a 3-4 yard head start and still caught him up. It was unbelievable stuff. The performance was so good. Like, it was these men just came out to kick us. Like, I feel like I'm watching a prime Arsenal side, not even because of how we're playing, but because of how teams like Chelsea are playing against us. These men just come out, they've got 5 yellow cards, and it should have been more than that. They were just kicking us, fouling us, kicking us all over the pitch. It was ridiculous. We committed a couple fouls here and there, but these men are just ridiculous. I see Trevor Saliba trying to rattle Granit Xhaka even after that whole situation. I see Jorginho trying to chat to Granit Xhaka and trying to like wind him up and stuff and trying to get in his head. It's not going to happen. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, he has the right amount. He's found the right level of sort of shithousery and fight and bite. And it was a great performance. Final third was lacking a little bit. Saka didn't seem super confident when he should have been. Like, every time he took Cucurella on one-on-one, he's got the beating of the guy. But once they started doubling and tripling up on him, you know, he didn't really want to take that physical battle. I think he's looking a little bit tired, and I think a break would do him quite well. Martinelli did what he did. Obviously, no Reece James. Azpilicueta did decent against Martinelli because Martinelli is a young, dynamic winger. He's tough to handle. He's tricky. Azpilicueta did his thing a little bit, but ultimately he's always going to get cooked. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not even a fair battle. And then Gabby Jesus still just looking for that goal. We need that goal out of him ASAP because he just does look a little bit like it's beginning to affect his confidence. But I'm still confident it will come. And like I said, it was 1-0. The corners were awful. I thought all of the corners were absolutely awful. They all hit the first man. They were all low and flat. And we've got this set piece coach. We're pretty good from set pieces at the moment. It was weird. Every single corner was just ugly. Hitting the first man really low, really uninspiring. And then when the goal came, it was another low, flat corner from Saka. So, oh, for God's sake. And it floats through everybody. Granit Xhaka pins his man, doesn't move. And it manages to get through the whole box of bodies. And Gabriel, the centre-back, taps it in. And I was like, is this a game plan? Is this like the corners that we actually... Because they kept doing it. And I thought, this has got to be on purpose. Because everyone was very, very low. And but yeah, it was a 1-0. And I think Chelsea are going to be not happy to take that 1-0, but Chelsea are lucky that it was 1-0. We should have smashed them 3-4, 5-0. Like, we were dominating them all over the pitch. All over the pitch. Like I say, Aubameyang was anonymous today. He got subbed off. Really didn't do much at all. Sterling, dawdling on the ball, really, really slow, really sloppy. And our midfield today was just on point. Like, Ødegaard didn't do a lot in terms of being a luxury 10. He's not a luxury player, he's a system 10. But in terms of being a bit of a luxury player, he didn't do a huge amount. He just kept the ball ticking. But in a game like this, that's all you needed to do. The chances were created by all of the midfield. Granit Xhaka and Partey today were just like one-touch, two-touch passing. Even a couple of times when Chelsea did put us under pressure, we played football perfectly at the right time. That was what's really impressive about today, and what's really impressive about this team that we're seeing at the moment is they play football at the right times, and they just hoof it and get rid of it at the right times as well. Almost everything was really spot on, bar the finishing. We had a chance where Gabriel Jesus had a couple of chances that he should have at least got on target or buried. Saka had a chance where Mendy come rushing out of his box. He didn't quite get the touch on the ball to flick it over him. There's a couple of ifs and buts, but it was a pretty straightforward game. I think Chelsea fouled us 20 times in that game. From the first minute, it seemed like their game plan was just to foul us and try and stop us getting into our flow. Because when we were flowing, we were creating chances like nobody's business. We just couldn't get our shots on goal. But again, I think that's something that will come. This front three, we know Gabby Jesus isn't a prolific striker, and the two players next to him are still young and finding their feet. and Ødegaard behind him. Like, we don't even need Ødegaard to create chances the way that a traditional 10 would create chances. He's so good at just bringing other people into play and bounce. He's more like a wall, but a mobile wall that you bounce the ball off of. And it was just solid. My man of the match is probably going to be Saliba, because he's just so calm. The commentary team mentioned it a couple of times that the guy just looks calm. Like, especially given the centre-backs that we've had in the past that are very erratic. Gabriel does have erratic moments, but if we go back a few years where we've had Mustafi, we come from the trenches, fam. We had Mustafi, we had Socrates, we had David Luiz. That whole dark ages, end of Wenger through Emery years, our centre-backs were very, very erratic and very nervous and very shaky. We conceded a lot of goals, and you could really like just say boo to these man, and they would fall over and make a mistake. And a lot of them individually weren't bad players, but where the team was struggling, the centre-backs really added to the pressure that the team were under. So for us as Arsenal fans to have a player like Saliba after coming out of the trenches, who is just so calm, he can have 2-3 man trying to press him, pause, and he can just take the pressure off completely, just a calm turn. He's got good pace, he can pass the ball. He just really doesn't make many, you know what it is, he doesn't make many mistakes. We don't really see him make mistakes. We see him make a mistake early with an own goal in the season, came straight back out and scored a goal at the other end of the field. And he just, if he does make a mistake, he remains calm. But that calmness is just such a, such a gift for a team like ours. We've really, really missed that. We've lacked that for several years. So having that at the back is just unbelievable. Ben White was unbelievable. Ben White was class, nutmegging Mason Mount, carrying the ball forwards, overlapping with Saka. That right back position, whether it's Ben White or Tomiyasu, is consistently the most overlooked position for us. It's the position that people do not rate the person that plays that role. They don't tend to see. I don't know if it's Ben White's aesthetic. He never looks like he's running really hard or trying really hard. It always looks quite chill and quite calm. And I think people take that for granted because he's playing unbelievable football. I don't care if any of these men don't go to the World Cup because it's better for us. I'd rather they had a break, to be honest with you. But Ben White not being in the England squad is ridiculous. The guy can play centre-back and right-back. And when you're going and playing tournament football with injuries and who knows what's going to happen, you want to have players that are versatile. And for me, Ben White should be in that team. And just to show that it's not Arsenal bias, I'll say Eric Dyer should probably be in that team as well, as somebody that can play centre-back and defensive midfield. I think that Eric Dyer should also be in that team. These guys can just fill in. We've got dedicated right-backs in Walker and these players. We've got dedicated DMs with Rice, but having these guys on the bench for England are just going to give them a different dimension. And if you don't make it to the England team, I really don't know what's going on, because this guy is absolutely class. And like I say, the way he plays football, he makes it look too easy. People don't rate it because it looks too easy, but he was so good today. Zinchenko came off and Tierney came on, and I think having Zinchenko, who's a more technical, Tierney's quicker, but having Zinchenko, who's a more technical left back, is really helping Tierney. When Tierney came on, Tierney is really good at getting up and down the line. He's really quick, but he's not the most technical. He's not the most composed, but he looked really good when he came on today. 25 minutes of playtime, but, outpaced Sterling a couple of times, played the ball really well, kept the ball in play when it was looking like it was going to go out, running down the clock. I think having these players is just going to increase the level of the players around him, and that's what Zinchenko's done. He's been a fantastic signing for Arsenal. So, yeah, we have one more game in the league before we go to the World Cup. That's Wolves. Wolves are struggling at the moment. They actually don't really have a manager. They have a manager that's coming in when the World Cup happens. So right now they don't even have a manager. That's a very winnable game. But, these are the games against top 4 and top 6 contenders. Those are the games that are going to tell you, are Arsenal in this title race or not? We lost to Man United, fair enough. Do you know what I mean? We've got the only team we haven't played so far out of the top 6, I think, is City. Is that right? Arsenal, United. Yeah, City's the only one that we haven't played. So we've lost to United, we've beat Spurs and Chelsea, we beat Liverpool, and then we've just got to play City. If we can take a point away from that, we're putting ourselves in a position where if we can take a point away from that City game, we can stay ahead of them. That's what it's all about, staying ahead of them. They just nicked a goal yesterday. Good performance, but they nicked it late. I don't know, man. It's the hope that I'm starting to believe, man. Then that's the point. That's the takeaway. I'm starting to believe. Okay, it's game week 15. We're top of the table. We just beat Chelsea. I'm starting to, I don't want to believe, like, I've been hurt so much in my life by this club. You know what I mean? I'm trying to protect myself, protect my mental health, protect your energy, but I just, you know what I mean? You know, I don't know, man. I don't know. But you tell me what you think. Are we title contenders? Can we fight for the title? Are we in that conversation? Because the thing is, if I get gassed up and really start to believe, and then Granit Xhaka has a howler and gets a red card, I'm going to be upset. Do you know what I'm saying? That's the thing. I'm going to be upset. You know what I mean? So I don't even want to gas myself up like that. But it's like, the football's saucy and the manager's hair looks great and it's all just, come on, man. You know what I mean? If we win the league, I don't know what I'll do. I really don't. If we were to beat City to the league right after coming 5th last season and 8th twice before that with this team, I don't know what I would do. My first son would be called Mikel. I don't even know. I don't know. Do you know what I mean? But all I know is Aubameyang was anonymous. Man said he's ready for Arsenal. I don't know what he was ready for, blood. Do you know what I'm saying? He's probably going to go back to his barbers and make another video. Do you know what I mean? Donny looks like a rapper. He's out here trying to make diss tracks about people. I don't know. You know what I mean? I don't know about this guy. But listen, that's in the past. Right now, we're top of the league. What more is there to say?